In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some overall storminess in the eastern United States during this Thanksgiving week. We also have some snowfall opportunities in the Northeast that we're going to be going over, and then diving into the temperature pattern where there is some big cooldowns on the way with some warm-ups in between. So we're going to get you the timing on all of that so that you can plan ahead for when it's going to be warm, when it's going to be cold. Anyway, before we do so, be sure to check out Prestige Weather in the description and pinned comment down below, as well as the top right corner of your screen, where we do weather consulting for individuals and businesses alike. During this stormy weather and eventually into the heart of winter, we're going to be doing a lot of consulting for all businesses that work anywhere outdoors or have any sort of logistics or basically anything. I think most every business could use this, but also for $5 a month, we also provide services to individuals as well, including early access to a lot of these videos and other consulting services, including weekly calls with us. So be sure to check it out today. Let's dive into things. And this is a late video today, so we're going to be going over Tuesday afternoon to begin things out here. Tuesday, that is going to be the 21st of the month of November. I can't believe we're already that far along. But as you can see, by tomorrow, we're already going to be dealing with plenty of storms here through a lot of the southeastern states and then a lot of the Ohio Valley in here in some of the Great Lakes. This is going to be mixed, as you can see, for a lot of these areas on the very northern extent of it, but for the rest of everybody else, even thunderstorms looking possible in the southeast, which is very crazy for this time of year as well, especially for some of the areas like North Carolina and Virginia that are much cooler this time of year. This is a pretty late season thunderstorm event potentially about to take place. Now, let's keep this going, and as we reach Wednesday afternoon, we can see that a lot of this is still around for some of those southeast areas, especially where we have some more organized storminess. We have two lows along all of this, which is pretty interesting. 1,005 here off the southeast coast, and then up there near New England, we also have another low here bringing some snowfall to the New England area, so certainly things to be watching for. Let's keep this going, and by the time we reach Thursday on November 23rd, things quiet up for the east overall, but we do have some snowfall starting back up here for the northern Rockies, and that's going to be the theme here. They're in the heart of their snow season, or at least it's beginning, while the eastern states are just starting to get going, and that just exposes the differences here in a lot of our U.S. regions. I think that's one of the more drastic ones, the Rockies and then the East Coast, but we certainly see huge differences in when to expect the most snowfall to potentially occur. By Friday the 24th here, we see that this all just continues to bottle up and become worse, actually. 1,005 millibar low pressure center now, and widespread snowfall throughout states like Utah, Wyoming, Colorado, into states like South Dakota, Nebraska, and even Kansas. As we keep going towards Saturday here on November 25th, we see 1,006 here. Some rainfall underneath, of course, for these more southern areas. And then on the more northern extent here for some of the central plains into the Rockies, of course, still dealing with some snowfall as a result of this system. Sunday on the 26th here, what we end up seeing is that this becomes more transitionary, and we actually have a weaker system overall now, but some showery activity on the southern extent, some snowy activity on the northern extent, but really a weaker system. And I'd say the more prominent system even on screen here is actually going to be this potential weak nor'easter here off the mid-Atlantic and southeast coast there. That eventually becomes 1,002. This is pretty far out Monday the 27th, but this does appear to be pretty far offshore. But if this trends a little closer, perhaps to around the Cape Cod area, we could be talking about more organized storminess here for the New England and Northeast area. Maybe even some snowfalls. There is some pretty cold air available. Only time we'd be able to tell with that, of course. We do see another nor'easter develop on Tuesday, but this one just kind of slides offshore very innocently and does not climb up the coast at all. But again, there is opportunity for this one to trend again more in a direction of heading straight up the coast, where there would be some snowfall and overall storminess involved with something like that. By the time we're reaching the end of this model run on Thursday, November 30th, we do actually have plenty of storms available here in the deeper south. And this is really widespread, probably heading towards this kind of corridor here. This could be a little bit more of an inland storm, as there doesn't seem to be really deep cold. I could even make the case that this one would be much more of an interior storm. But again, 240 hours out, we want to take all of this with a grain of salt, because at this range, there might not even be a storm. This is very far out. But again, we will track it daily, and only time will be able to tell. Total precipitation tells the whole story here, as mostly the above average activity comes in this corridor here, as again, we have a lot of storms moving in this type of emotion. Really get pretty average amounts out west. Nothing crazy, but again, nothing too dry either. Just a pretty average amount of precipitation. Let's just move right into the snowfall here. As you can see, of course, the Rockies into the plains are going to do fantastic as far as snowfall this upcoming 10-day period. From Montana down through Idaho into Nevada, Utah, Wyoming, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico, we're seeing large and plentiful amounts of snowfall for a lot of these mountaintops. As you reach those plains just to the east of this area, so for eastern Wyoming, eastern Colorado, and even extending into the Dakotas, Nebraska, and Kansas, we are also seeing pretty sizable snowfall amounts here coming from this European model. Anywhere in the pinks experiencing perhaps 10 inches plus, so certainly some big snowfall amounts to talk about out there. And then for the northeast, we actually do get nearly a foot or so for some of the White Mountains there in New Hampshire, in towards interior Maine, or maybe even more than, 10, 15, maybe even pushing 20 in some spots could be possible over the next 10 days. Now, the overall temperature pattern, we do see warmer temperatures overall, with a bigger cool down heading in for the weekend, so Saturday into Sunday there. And then also, as we reach the midweek, we get another one here, so Wednesday the 29th into Thursday, so certainly some colder times ahead. I don't think I would say sustained cold, because they do have the warm-ups in between, but we have multiple cool downs on the way, and they are rather potent. So there will be colder times, there will be warmer times. I think that a majority of it is going to be cooler, but they are going to be short-lived when they do happen, and it's just going to be multiple smaller occasions, as is pretty much what I would say. Anyway, well, we upload every single day, so be sure to subscribe for daily weather uploads just like this one. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload, so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.